The strange thing about success is that no one warns you about the silence. At first, everything looks the same. The same group chat, the same jokes, the same friends you grew up with, the same people who used to say things like, "When one of us makes it, we all make it." But something begins to shift, not all at once, quietly, like a room slowly losing air. And by the time you notice it, you are already the only one left breathing normally. Welcome to Fearless Stories, where money meets humanity. Camila Reyes did not grow up around success. She grew up around survival. Her neighborhood sat between an old highway and a strip mall, where most stores had bars on the windows. Her parents worked long hours, and every bill in the house felt like something that had to be chased down before it got away. Money was not something people built. Money was something people barely held on to. But Camila was different, not because she was smarter, not because she was lucky. Somewhere along the way, she started asking questions no one else around her was asking. Why did some people seem stuck forever? Why did some people escape? And most importantly, how? While most of her friends spent weekends going out, Camila spent hers learning things no one had ever taught her. Investing, saving, building something that did not disappear every month when the rent was due. It did not happen overnight. For years, nothing about her life looked different. Same neighborhood, same friends, same restaurants, same late-night conversations about dreams that always felt just out of reach. And during those years, everyone cheered for her. Camila is going to make it, they would say. But cheering for someone's dream and watching it actually happen are two very different things. The first change was small. Camila moved into a new apartment, not a mansion, not a luxury high-rise, just a quiet place closer to her new job. Still, when she shared the news, one of her friends laughed and said, "Look at you, moving on up." Everyone laughed, including Camila. At the time, it sounded like a joke. Later, she realized it was not. Then came the next changes, a promotion, more responsibility, more income. She started learning about investing seriously. Money that once barely covered groceries was now being directed towards something bigger, something long-term. Her life was expanding. But slowly, the conversations with her friends began to feel different. Not openly hostile, just different. The jokes started changing. "Must be nice. You are probably too busy for us now. You have changed." The first few times, Camila brushed it off. Of course, she had not changed. She was still the same person, same humor, same memories, same loyalty to the people who had been there since the beginning. But something kept happening. Invitations stopped coming as often. Group chats felt quieter when she spoke. Sometimes she would see photos online of nights out she had not been invited to. No one said anything. No big arguments, just distance. And distance is harder to confront than anger. One night, Camila met an old friend for dinner. They had known each other since middle school, back when neither of them had anything except imagination and time. For a while, the conversation felt normal. Then the friend said something that stayed with Camila long after the night ended. "You know what the problem is? You forgot where you came from." Camila did not argue. She just sat there for a moment, because in that moment she realized something painful. She had not forgotten where she came from. She had simply kept walking forward. But to someone standing still, that can look exactly the same. For weeks after that dinner, Camila kept thinking about the question that had quietly formed in her mind. Why did success seem to push people away? At first, she blamed herself. Maybe she had changed. Maybe she talked differently now. Maybe she had become someone they no longer recognized. But over time, she began to understand something deeper. Success does not only change your life, it changes the mirror people use to see their own. When someone close to you grows, evolves, builds something new, it can force everyone around them to confront something uncomfortable. The distance between two lives. Not everyone reacts to that distance the same way. Some people feel inspired, some feel proud, and some feel something they do not quite know how to name. Not jealousy, not anger, something quieter, something closer to discomfort. Because growth has a way of asking silent questions. Why not me? Why did I not try that? Why did I stop believing that was possible? And when those questions appear, the easiest thing to do is not to change. It is to step away from the person whose growth quietly reminds you that you chose to stay the same. The realization did not make Camila angry. It made her sad, because she had never wanted to leave anyone behind. She had only wanted to move forward. But growth has a strange rule. You can invite people with you. You can encourage them. You can even hold the door open, but you cannot force anyone to walk through it. Some will not, and some will decide that the version of you they were comfortable with was the one who stayed exactly where they were. Years later, Camila still thinks about those early friendships. Some of them eventually returned. Once the shock of change settled, once life pulled everyone in different directions anyway, others faded quietly into memory, not because of hatred, not because of betrayal, just because sometimes two people begin the journey in the same place, but they do not end up walking the same road. People say success is lonely. But the truth is, it is not lonely for the reason most people think. Success does not remove people from your life. It simply reveals who was comfortable when your life stayed small. And if your path begins to take you somewhere new, do not shrink yourself just to make the room feel familiar again. Keep growing anyway, because fear is not your legacy. Freedom is. Before you go, let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt distance from people in your life after you started growing or changing? Drop it in the comments. You never know who might read it and realize they're not alone. Subscribe to Fearless Finance, and I'll see you in the next episode.